Have you ever wondered why so many people, despite living in the freest societies in history, still feel trapped? Why, even when we can speak, travel, and express ourselves more than ever before, an invisible weight holds us back? The truth is, most people are not free. Not because of governments, not because of external control, but because they are prisoners of their own mind. And until they break free from this invisible cage, they will never taste true freedom. From the moment we're born, society begins shaping us. We are taught what to value, what to fear, what to chase. Get good grades, get a stable job, buy a house. This invisible script is handed to us before we even know how to question it. And those who dare to deviate, who question the path, are often met with discomfort, confusion, or outright rejection. Philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau once said, "Man is born free, and everywhere he is in chains. But the most dangerous chains are not physical, they are psychological." Why do most people remain stuck in unfulfilling lives? The answer is simple: comfort. Human beings are wired to avoid discomfort, both physical and mental. This instinct served us well when survival was the goal, but in the modern world, it becomes a trap. Psychologists call this status quo bias. We prefer what is familiar, even if it makes us miserable. We fear change, not because it's bad, but because it's unknown. And so millions live lives of quiet resignation, yearning for freedom, but unwilling to pay the price. True freedom demands authenticity. It requires you to remove the masks, to stand alone if necessary, to speak truths that may make others uncomfortable. But here's the problem: human beings are tribal. For most of history, survival meant belonging. To be rejected by the group meant death. Even today, this ancient fear lingers. This is why so many people suppress who they really are. They trade authenticity for acceptance. They silence their dreams to avoid standing out. They live for the approval of people who don't even know their true selves. One of the most subtle chains that binds us is comparison. We measure our worth by how we stack up against others: wealth, beauty, success. Social media magnifies this trap. We see carefully curated highlight reels and assume everyone else is winning while we are failing. This constant comparison robs people of peace. It convinces them they are never enough. And yet the truth is, freedom is not about being better than others. It's about being better than your former self. Most people believe they are in control of their lives, but neuroscience paints a different picture. Studies show that much of our behavior is driven by unconscious habits, fears, and social conditioning. We are not as rational as we think. This is why ancient Stoic philosophers like Epictetus taught, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. The paradox is, you gain freedom not by controlling the external world, but by mastering the internal one. The harsh reality is, most people will never break free. They will live lives dictated by fear, conformity, and shallow pleasures. Why? Because freedom has a price. It demands self-awareness. It requires sacrifice, letting go of comfort, approval, and the need to be liked. And most importantly, it demands responsibility. To be free is to take ownership of your mind, your choices, and your destiny. Most prefer to blame others, to remain in the safety of victimhood, because while the prison is uncomfortable, it is familiar. Freedom begins with one word: awareness. You cannot escape a prison you do not see. Most people live on autopilot, reacting, obeying, conforming, without ever pausing to ask, is this truly who I am? Do I choose this life, or was it chosen for me? The first step to freedom is noticing the patterns, the beliefs you inherited without questioning, the fears that rule you, the silent compromises you make every day to stay safe. This awakening can be unsettling. It's the moment when the veil lifts and you realize how much of your life has been dictated by unconscious forces. But this discomfort is necessary. It is the signal that you are waking up. The real battle for freedom is not external, it's internal. It is not against governments, bosses, or society. It is against the parts of yourself that cling to fear, comfort, and illusion. This is what the Stoics meant when they spoke of mastery of the self. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Most people never start this revolution because it is hard. It requires placing uncomfortable truths about yourself, accepting that no one is coming to save you, realizing that every moment you delay is a choice to remain in chains. But for those brave enough to begin, everything changes. The battlefield shifts from the outside world to the mind. One of the keys to inner freedom is detachment. This does not mean indifference. It means you stop being ruled by what you cannot control. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. There are two kinds of things. 1. Things within your control, your thoughts, choices, actions. 2. Everything's, tomorrows, and the weather. Things outside your control, everything else. Most people suffer because they invert this. They try to control others. They worry about outcomes. They obsess over reputation, success, and approval, things inherently outside their power. Detachment means you do your best, but release the outcome. It means you speak your truth, but let go of how others receive it. It means you pursue your dreams, but remain at peace whether you win or lose. Paradoxically, this detachment leads to greater focus, clarity, and even better results, because your mind is no longer consumed by fear. Freedom without discipline is an illusion. Many people mistake freedom for indulgence. They believe that to be free means to do whatever they want, whenever they want. But this is not freedom. It is enslavement to impulses. The philosopher Seneca warned, "No man is free who is not master of himself." True freedom requires the discipline to delay gratification, resist distractions, tolerate consistent action despite emotions. It's the discipline to say no when your mind screams for comfort, to stay true to your values when the world tempts you to compromise, to keep going, especially when it's hard. Discipline is the bridge between your current self and the free life you desire. Another invisible chain that keeps people trapped is the ego. The ego whispers, "Hafiza, what will they think of me? I must prove myself," but the ego is insatiable. No matter how much you achieve, it always wants more. It fears failure, judgment, and even success, because its identity is fragile. True freedom comes when you stop living for appearances, when you no longer seek to impress or dominate, but to express your authentic self without attachment to praise or blame. This is not humility in the weak sense. This is strength. It is the quiet, unshakable confidence of someone who knows who they are, even if the world misunderstands them. There will be moments when your path toward freedom requires solitude, when you will need to stand alone in your beliefs, your values, your vision. This is the ultimate test. Many abandon the path because they cannot bear isolation. But history's most awakened minds, Buddha, Socrates, Nietzsche, understood. The price of authenticity is often loneliness. The good news? When you have the courage to walk alone, you attract others who are also free. And those relationships, built on truth, not pretense, are rare and beautiful. True freedom is not somewhere in the future. It is here. It is now. Most people postpone their freedom. I'll be free when I retire. I'll be happy when I succeed. I'll relax when I have more time. But the future never arrives. Freedom exists only in the present moment. The practice of presence, mindfulness, is perhaps the most overlooked path to liberation. When you are fully present, even for a few seconds, you step out of the mental prison. The past loses its grip. The future no longer dominates you. You are here, alive, whole. Presence is the doorway to peace. So how do you begin? 1. Noticing. Notice when fear drives you. Notice when you conform without thinking. Notice when you betray yourself for approval. 2. Validate better questions. Who am I? Really? What would I do if I were not afraid? Is this my choice or someone else's expectation? 3. Take small, courageous actions. Speak the truth you've been holding back. Say no to something that drains you. Begin the project you've been postponing. Each small act chips away at the invisible walls. Each choice rewires the mind. Each moment of courage expands your freedom. In the end, true freedom is not a destination. It is a practice, a way of being, a return to yourself. The journey is not easy. Most will never take it. But for those who do, life becomes lighter, the mind becomes clearer, and the soul finally breathes free.